events in the summer of 2024, all in July. On July 11th, we had a concert, The Songs of Hollywood. On July 18th, we had a special event, Bridgerton Meets Amadeus. And on July 25th, we had a fantasy and sci-fi night. The new space to us at the Civic Center was super well received by our audience, our patrons. And so they asked us if we could do it again there this year, and we were very happy to do that. So we're expanding a little bit this year in that we are doing 5 concerts rather than 3, and we're incorporating our student groups from the Community Music School, which is a new part of the TC Phil as well. So beginning on July 4th, we're doing a big patriotic concert with an organization that we took over 2 years ago that's been around since the early 70s, Encore Symphonic Winds. It's a semi-professional wind band, and so that band is going to be doing a patriotic concert on July 4th, John Philip Sousa kind of stuff. And then on July 11th, we're going to have one of our student groups, which will be the culminating event for our jazz camp. This is the first year we're going to be running a jazz camp for high school students, and they will have their final concert at the Civic Center on July 11th. And then on July 21st, we have the full symphony orchestra playing John Williams movie music. That's always popular, and it's a great stage because it'll fit the entire symphony. And then on July 28th, we're taking a page out of kind of the Ravinia handbook, Ravinia being the summer home of the Chicago Symphony, and we're doing a full-on classical concert this summer. We're doing Beethoven's 7th Symphony and Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto. These concerts wouldn't be possible with our agreement with the Players Committee, which acts as a collective bargaining group, without the ability to put them under a tent. So this has been really, really important to us that we have the stage, we have the lighting, we have the tent. That allows us to do much more than we would be able to without that. And then we're completing with another education program on August 4th. We're calling it Stringapalooza. It's all of our string organizations from our civic orchestras. I want to say that John and the Civic Center staff have been super easy to work with. This has worked very well. The arrangement, now that we own the tent and we are housing the tent during the year, has taken the tent out of your space, which I think has been good for you. It's in our new space, which is great for us. We can keep an eye on it, make sure that it stays in good shape. And then we will put that tent up at our expense in May, take it down October-ish. And then for that, we're allowed to have our concerts there on that stage. So I think it's really good for both organizations. The tent stays up all summer, and we're happy to have other people make use of it. So this seems all good for our community, and we're thrilled to be there. Any questions?
All right. Any questions? Let's start at the other end this time.
Please do.
Anybody?
Oh, no, I don't have any questions. I think it's phenomenal.
Charlie?
I agree. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
I was going to say in full disclosure, back in the 80s when it was Northwestern Michigan Symphony Orchestra, I did my tour there as the tuba guy.
Oh, fantastic. Well, great.
Another life.
That's awesome.
A quick question, just in
Sure.
regards to what, just in attendance-wise, how how did things look? Whether it's comparatively going back 2 years, 24 to
Sure.
23 to 24, just in the difference in.
We've been having an audience of about 400 to 500 for
Oh,
each of the
yeah, that's
programs.
great.
4th of July is significantly more people, but 400 to 500 is great, and this space serves that number well.
Super, that's great. Thank you.
It's more than I thought.
Thank you for utilizing the space.
Yeah.
Looking
Great. Well,
forward to it this summer.
We're thrilled to do it. Thank you.
All right, now on to the grilling.
Kedrick, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
You mentioned that you have student groups incorporated as well. I'm curious, are those open to all community schools, or are those limited to just the Interlochen Arts Camp here in town?
We are not associated with Interlochen Arts
Okay.
Camp. We are a completely separate organization. And the distinction that I would make is that Interlochen is exclusive. I worked out there for 10 years as the director of music. It's an international organization. You have to audition to get in. You've got to have some money to be able to go. the programs that we offer at the Community Music School are inclusive. No one is prohibited for coming from an inability to pay. We have scholarships for every student that needs to have this. And so we are able to provide, it's not an audition-based system. We have a place for everyone who can play. So it's really quite a bit different. This is very much a community-based organization. And the Community Music School itself also serves the needs of the many, many homeschooled students in our community, also students that in the surrounding counties, some of which don't have instrumental music in their schools. So we are inclusive, non-audition based, and we have scholarships for everyone.
That's wonderful to hear. That's certainly where my line of thinking was going with that.
Great.
So I appreciate that
Good.
clarification, and certainly for your inclusivity and the community needs there. That's great.
Terrific, thank you.
You also mentioned, of course, we have obviously the Philharmonic Orchestra itself consists of the Players Committee there. What are the demographics like of the members that make up the orchestra?
We have 70 paid professionals who make up the orchestra. That's our core roster. Most of them have master's degrees or doctorates. The principal players in most of our sections are the professors from Interlochen. So that's how we're able to have an orchestra of this quality in some place that it's unlikely to be, is that we have this core roster, and then we have about half of our players that do drive in from downstate, and so they come up and fill out the orchestra on concert weekends.
How neat. Thank you. Also, you, of course, have the Players Committee there. Are there any needs that that union has ever expressed that we could assist with in terms of infrastructure or other amenities that maybe our park could have, and any needs for infrastructure and amenities that you have from the Philharmonic side?
Thank you. Thank you for asking that. I think that one of the things that would be nice would be to have restrooms that were accessible to the stage. We do bring in our own porta potties at the beginning, and they're cleaned out weekly. But if there were restroom facilities there, that would be great, particularly for some of our people that have limited access. So that would be a real big help.
Any needs that you think for infrastructure that would assist with the audience needs as well? We've tossed around different ideas throughout the years of do we put
Yes. What
anything
would
in
be
there?
great for us would be if it was possible to do some kind of terracing of that bowl so that we had flat layers instead of it being entirely sloped. Because when we put chairs on there, people with mobility issues are tipped forward, and sometimes it's difficult for them. If it was terraced, then you could put chairs out, enter from the end, and that would be easier for people with mobility issues.
John, I feel like our master plan has gone back and forth on
So
what our thoughts are. in there.
Interesting, as soon as you mentioned that, so our master site plan for this property had us terracing that space.
Oh.
And we'd gotten feedback from Parallel 45 as well as a couple of other groups that said, no, don't terrace it, leave it as it is. So I'm hearing a
Yeah.
difference
Yeah.
with that.
It
So
makes sense almost with the
Oh, it
mobility
certainly
needs,
does.
certainly there, yeah.
The difference may be the average age of our demographic, which is considerably older, and we do have a lot of people that have mobility challenges. So for us, we love the space as it is. It would be easier for us if we had some level spaces for them.
okay, good. I definitely wrote that
Yeah.
down.
Excellent. And yeah, my final question, I think you just started hitting on there. What does the audience makeup look like? Obviously, many of our community members there, I'm sure it's a wide scope, but it sounds like there might be some commonalities.
It is. We've found that our summer audience is in general younger than our year-round audience, and we have a lot of audience that is coming while they're on vacation, or they're visiting parents, they're visiting relatives here. And so we have a much broader range of people that we can reach in the summer. And so that's been a really good thing for our organization to be able to reach the hundreds of thousands of people who are here in the summer rather than just the 50,000 in the winter.
Yeah, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Grace?
You guys, great community asset. I'm so thrilled to have you in the Civic Center Park, and I'm looking forward to joining you this summer.
Great. Thank you all very much.
I'm going to keep it real short. The one thing I just want to expound on just briefly, Jalen, kind of, you touched on it. I'm going to limit you to questions, but.
I'll just add commas then.
One of the things is keep working with us. We'd like to see you back next year, get a report, and keep looking for how we can improve that quadrant. I mean, as you know, government doesn't happen overnight. That park's not going to happen overnight. This year is going to be a huge change with the walking track and that all. And then that parking lot right there by that, the auditorium, or not the auditorium, but the
Pavilion.
Pavilion, thank you. That parking lot is going to become a parking lot with curb, gutter, spaces, lines, so.
That's great. Will you be adding handicap parking in that
Yes,
area?
we'll be adding handicap parking, and there'll be a van accessible spot as well.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you.
And the handicap parking will be right next to the pavilion. I think
Correct.
that's the way that got laid out, so.
Excellent.
Yep.
I think some of that, but if we can keep working together, and keep this growing, we'd love it. The one thing I did hear you say is there was plenty of parking there, and, I kind of
previous-
shuddered because nobody tells us that.
The previous year, we had been at Rotary Park.
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
All right. Keep that thought in mind.
yeah, we'll keep that thought.
And with
Thank you
I was
very
gonna
much.
say,
Thank you so much.
eventually we'll have another venue they might be able to help us christen
Yes,
at the camp.
yes,
So when that
There you
bowl
go.
gets rebuilt,
yes.
What they're talking about is, I hope you've heard that the County Parks and Rec has just purchased, the county has, Camp Dry Lake, the old Boy Scout camp.
Oh, okay, great.
And there is an outdoor auditorium
There's an amphitheater.
in that park.
If you need any consultation on what groups might need as you build out that plan, I would love to be a part of that conversation.
Sounds great.
Definitely, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
So, you and
Thanks,
your
Joe.
team have been an absolute pleasure
Oh, thank
to
you.
work with. It's been a true joy. I love having the opportunity to have arts in the park, and having your presence there brings that to the park and really makes that area alive. So thank you very much for bringing that on, and thank you very much for the support that you provide for the community through the community music school. That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. With that, now we'll have to get down to business, I guess.
So much of it on our agenda today.
Yeah. John, consent calendar.
Yes, the purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items to be dealt with by one commission motion without discussion. Any member of the commission, staff, or public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed therefrom and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted, receive and file or approval, is approved by a single commission action adopting the consent calendar. Receive and file, item number 1, Grand Traverse Conservation District reports for February and March. Item number 2, Easling Pool, Grand Traverse Bay YMCA membership report for March 2025. And item number 3 under approvals, minutes of the regular meeting of the Grand Traverse County Parks and Recreation Commission on March 13, 2025.
Anybody have anything they'd like removed? Can I get a motion to accept the consent? calendar?
I make a motion we accept the consent calendar.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? From that, reports. John, budget
Yes.
report, please.
Budget report, just a couple things to note in the budget report. So for the revenue for March of 2025, you'll notice the rents column has quite a few things in it. So we've got Keystone Rent, received that for $5,400. Norte Rent for $1,500, that's their regular monthly. And then we have Cell Tower Rent for Civic Center, which pushes that number up. So this month is, March is the month that we received that, as well as How Arena Shows. It's been a great show month, so all of those items come off the accrual list and appear in the month of March, because that's when they show up. And then under expenditures, you'll notice one larger item under capital expenditures, so $14,853. We did purchase a Toro UTV power cart, and we purchased that for use at Civic Center, and then that also gave us the opportunity to repurpose another cart, and we'll move that out, or have moved that out to the Camp Grolic property as well. Under expenditures, you will see April start to ramp up for expenses for Camp Greilich with some cabin work and grounds work. We're getting the cabins ready now for our crew that's coming out, and well, we'll be spending money on the grounds over the next couple months with that crew there. Any questions on the budget?
You answered mine.
All right.
We're gonna insert John's director's report when he
Yeah, we'll
got left off some accidentally.
call that part of the budget report, so we'll just extend the budget report. So speaking of the budget, so we're gonna have some revenue that's going to come in from the Paddling Film Festival. See, there's my tie. Paddling Film Festival on April 30th. So we got some neat things going on with that Paddling Film Festival this year. So not only the festival itself, but we also have exhibitors who are going to be there. And then we've added a third piece to that, which is we're going to have a paddler's gear marketplace. So we're working with the Traverse Area Paddle Club, and they are helping us source paddlers that would like to bring in items that they would like to sell. And we'll use that as an opportunity to bring folks together, bring the community together, and find some new home for some gear. Walking track. So we had some changes to our schedule from the last update here. So our bridge removal was delayed due to frost laws and inability to get an appropriate crane there. So as soon as those frost laws come off, we will be looking at removing that, so that will be as soon as possible. We'll, of course, coordinate that with entry and exit and coordinate that with the schools and that. They know that they've got a very tight window during the day that they would need to move that in order to make sure that we have the opportunity for buses to come in and out. That said, bridge work is still occurring, so the bridge approaches on either side. Excavation is complete, and the footings were poured yesterday and today. And the running path excavation started this week. They're going to start filling that running path. They're going to start filling the trench tomorrow, and just some of the areas along there. And a big thanks to the Traverse City Track Club. They came out and they gave some feedback. So once we put the posts up to see where the track was going to be or the course was going to be, they ran that, gave us some good feedback, and gave us some opportunity to do some reroutes on that. So thank you to them for that. We are still on track, though, for substantial completion of the project by June 27, with full completion by July 25th. So that will make sure that that parking lot is available and folks can use that for the TC Phil concerts and beyond. For Camp Greilich, our master plan, formerly called the business plan, was approved on April 2nd. There we go. I'm looking at my calendar trying to figure out what day that was. So April 2nd by the Board of Commissioners. So thank you to Board of Commissioners for the support with that, in addition to your support. So we are moving forward with that plan. As mentioned in one of our previous updates, we have an AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps. There we go. We keep having to spell it out with each other. NCCC for short. Crew coming. They're going to be joining us May 1st, and they'll be there May 1st through June 24th, and they're going to do a tremendous amount of work. We got a group of 12 youth and young adults ages 18 to 26 that are going to be there. They are going to provide 2,800 hours of service. So that's a great value to the county and a great value to the park. So we are looking forward to their presence. They come not necessarily with skill. I mean, maybe I need to rephrase that. They don't come with specific skills in trail development and that sort of thing. Part of the opportunity here is for them to be able to develop those skills. So we're using the skills of our partners, so Northern Michigan Mountain Bike Association, Grand Traverse Regional Land Conservancy Conservation District, and Aloft Disc Golf, as well as a couple of others, to bring in that skill to help develop that skill within the group and then have them perform the work over that period of time. So excited for that. Big thank you to Kara for putting that application together and then putting together the whole process and the whole plan to make sure that we're executing this well. So excited for that. Our trail work group for Camp Greilich met on site last week for the first trail walk and kind of a vision. We are meeting again tomorrow to walk the disc golf course, and then we'll meet again on April 25th to do the walking trails, and then we'll put all that together on one ArcGIS map that will kind of have the vision for everything, and then we'll bring that vision to this commission at our May meeting and bring that vision to the Brown Bridge Quiet Area Advisory Committee on May 21st, so they can see that vision as well, since we have adjoining properties there. And another update, NER overlook structures. So I'll pass this around. This is the vision for the replacement for the Sabin North Overlook. So the Sabin North Overlook is currently extends over the bluff edge, And we need to take that one out, and we're just basically going to build this, this ground platform about 75 feet north of that. It's a better vantage point than the current item, and it's going to be a whole lot less for us to be able to put that up. So Conservation District's actually going to do that work in-house, and we'll see that starting here pretty quickly. And then signage update. So those of you who may have had a chance to go into the Civic Center in the last couple of days, you've seen our fantastic new signs that have come up. And this is Power Island's trail wayfinding signage.
Nice.
So we'll send that around. You can take a look at that. So it's got,
So much better than what's
oh,
on up there.
it's,
Oh my
we are so excited for
Yeah.
How
these.
many of these are being
If you
installed?
get a chance, drive through the Civic Center on your
Yeah.
way home tonight. It is good.
God. Drive to Power.
26 of these are being installed then as well.
You could have driven to Power Island. We decided not to put the bridge in. Not anymore. We decided, bridge was out. So, but yeah, we are absolutely thrilled at these. So now, funny
great.
story, they delivered 2 proofs to us, and I looked at it the way Jamie's looking at it, right there. I pulled them out and looked at both of them. We said, yeah, we like the matte one. And we all agreed we liked the matte one. And it was probably either hours or a day later when I flipped it over and went, oh, hey, the sign's actually printed on here. I didn't realize that. But yeah, they turned out fantastic. So we're going to be putting those up in June. We'll bring the crew out by boat, and then they'll live out there for a couple days while they're putting those signs up. So super exciting to be able to get that project going, and we're starting to scope out the next round of signage that is in our capital this year. So, did I miss anything? Everything. All right. Yes.
You touched upon it being show season, and of course that always is the season that we have between roller derby and ice. How many weekends are taken out of the available free weekends? I guess whichever way you want me to ask that. How many free weekends are there left for, in theory, if more people wanted to have shows there? Because I feel like, gosh, we must be getting close to maximum capacity before the roller derby sets in, right?
Let's see. So we have, give me 1 second before roller derby so I can come up with that pretty
Because
quickly
I know
here. So
we
we
had a
had
couple
one
new
free
ones.
Well, and
weekend.
they added a show this year. They
Yeah.
added
Yeah.
the Big Boys
Yeah.
Toy Show.
Open to everybody, I'm sure.
But, yeah, anybody that wants to spend money?
Yeah, by all means.
Yep. Don't need to be a boy. We had a free weekend at the spring break week. And then next weekend will be a free weekend. Then we have Maker Fest the following weekend, the 26th. Middle of the week there, we have the Paddling Film Festival on the 30th. And then that following weekend, May 4, we have empty bowls. Open bowls, empty bowls will be there. And then the weekend of the 10th is available, and then roller derby comes in. So we've
So
got
that's-
3 open weekends.
I think that's a testament to how hard the staff has certainly been working on making sure that we're taking advantage of that space. That's great to hear. I mean, gosh, we're down to 3 open weekends now.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yep, and that'll be roller derby's first bout, and they're doing their practices right now as well, so they're doing those midweek.
Wonderful.
Thank you all.
Any other questions for John before we move on? Great.
John, you said that the signs were probably gonna get put in like in June, is that the thought?
Yeah,
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
I'm gonna try and get that as early in the season as we can.
Yeah, those are great.
They're finishing the production of them right now. They brought that proof to us, and when we said good, then they're printing away.
The reason I kind of said drive through the Civic Center is, I think one of the other things, you'll see some of the bigger signs. And then now that you've seen this, you can kind of start to see the vision of that whole book that we put together. And I think, it's pretty stunning. Okay. Strategic planning, we'll move down to our strategic planning committee. Jamie?
Yeah, for an update?
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, we met last week, and had a good meeting. A number of things that we went over was we talked about got an update on the Paddling Film Festival and where we were at on that, and some of the last remaining tidbits and things that John and the team were trying to put together in regards to some of like the refreshments and concessions and some of the last things on that. I'll take this moment for those of us that are members of the Strategic Planning Committee to, if you haven't already viewed your movies, that I think that deadline to get those to John is tomorrow.
12th.
Okay, almost tomorrow. So really coming close. So please make the effort to watch your assigned films and get your reviews in. Do your best, Siskel and Ebert, for John on those. And then Kara talked about a couple of cool programs that she's working on and putting together, having to do with just a volunteer program for our parks and some caretaker, maybe not the right word, but kind of some park champions to get out there and to just be part of a volunteer team to help on things, as well as a cool, fun little program called Bark Rangers, having to do with our furry friends, four-legged friends, and some people to help kind of be Bark Rangers and things like if they're doing a good job, there's can be some little attaboys, but then also like if they don't have a leash on, then the Bark Rangers can also go, hey, you're supposed to have a leash on your dog, some things like that, and resources, some resources out there for dog parks and stuff like that. So those are some cool things. We talked a little bit about a record board getting put in at Easling for the Triton swim team. And getting that put up, and that sounded like a good thing. And then just had another update discussion in regards to Greilich and its naming and kind of the last bits before it went to the board. And I think that was all of it. Back to you. Yes, sir.
You mentioned kind of, and maybe it's more for Kara.
Maybe.
the
Let me know.
the kind of volunteer group forming up, and that's great to hear. Is that setting the groundwork for having a friends group in the future, do we suspect as well? I know that's something that we've tossed
I'll defer to
around
Kara for
before.
details on that.
Thanks, Jamie.
Absolutely.
I would say possibly. So we're starting small. Am I close enough? We're starting small and kind of piloting it at Civic Center Park. A couple reasons for that is staff availability and training, so Scott is there and kind of show them the ropes. It's also a manageable space with a lot of things that need to be done and a lot of time that goes into it. Once we grow that base and see what it looks like and start to do some things for volunteers like appreciation and recognition, I think that it could grow into something like that. We also hope that it'll grow into our other properties. So, of course, Greilich is something where we'll want a lot of volunteer engagement. This sets the stage for us to know how to deploy and train those volunteers and appreciate them for the work they do.
That's very exciting to hear. Does volunteers also count for points, if you will, for grants in the future, do we think, as well? Or
The more community involvement we get builds that opportunity.
I think that could be matched too, right? Like volunteer hours could be considered matched.
Yeah,
or
you can use
something.
labor as a match
nice.
for some grants.
Great. Thank you.
John?
Do we have loaner leashes for our leash patrol?
That's a neat idea. I'm going to write that down.
I wonder if
Like,
Have you seen
don't
that
do as I
someplace?
say, here, borrow a
PetSmart
leash.
Have you
guys
seen that
might-
someplace?
I might be
No.
able to get a leash
Okay.
donation.
Why not?
Yeah, they did the doggy
That's
bags.
exactly
They
what I
might
was
be able to donate.
branded
some.
leashes handing out.
Don't just kick them home, give them a leash and hopefully
Need-
bring
need
it
a
back
bike,
or
take a bike,
hand it off at the
need
Civic
a
Center.
leash.
That's good.
Kind of idea.
Positive
Yeah.
reinforcement.
Hope they bring them back.
All right.
Interesting idea.
Like a little leash library.
Yes, property of.
That's cute.
Any other questions, comments on that? We'll move on down to Natural Education Reserve. Joe, I think you had a meeting last night?
We did have a meeting last night.
Or yesterday?
Skipped over rules, but I'll go ahead and do it. But real quick, we should have a site plan for the roundabout and the changing over there at Beitner, hopefully next month.
Okay.
I know it's in the process right now. Didn't get done before yesterday, which is too bad, but that is in the process. So we will have a site plan so people can actually look at what we think it should look like as from our perspectives, and then go from there. And we're also working through some of the legal details that have now cropped up, but we will get there. We also had an update on the Keystone Rapids stream bank erosion restoration, I guess is a good way to say it, and how that's moving forward. The Medallion rain garden is moving forward, should be completed this summer. Unfortunately, the foot crossing has been delayed till October, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Just has to do with getting the product here. And so that unfortunately will be delayed, but there's a good news, bad news thing there. They're still a few $100,000 short, so cough up the money if you got some, and we can have it paid for by the time they put it in. And then Earth Day, if you guys want to plant some trees, they're always looking for volunteers to do that kind of stuff on Earth Day, so.
Is
mean,
the
that's a real
bank
quick
erosion
nutshell.
at the kayak launch?
It's
right
around the bend a
Okay.
little bit. Kind of goes around and comes back.
there? Like under the
Yeah.
road, yeah.
No,
It's
it's
past the
further,
road.
it's further north,
Oh, okay,
so I don't have a map here.
About a
but-
quarter mile
halfway.
downriver.
Yeah,
okay.
Uh,
From the
so it-
launch.
Yeah, so you go from the launch, goes under the tubes, and then it takes a right bend, and then the river starts to drop there, and where it starts to make its left-hand
Yeah.
bend, there's a lot of erosion there, because that isn't the original stream path, and so they routed it through there, but it's basically going to the right of the bedrock.
yeah.
So it's just hitting that wall at full force, and it's just
Gotcha.
eroding it all.
So that we're gonna do some restoration this
Yeah, so
this summer?
we're looking at different options for that, or the Conservation District looking at different options for that. They've applied for 1 or 2 grants, have not received those grants yet, but they're looking at the options of either putting riprap in there or some woody debris, with woody debris being the preferred option.
Thanks.
All right. T-Bay's representative, Jalen?
T-Base has not met in between meetings yet. We have our meeting coming up next Tuesday here, so we will hear more from T-Base then.
I will mention just one thing,
Great.
the USASA agreement that we approved at this last meeting. So that went through our legal team. They made a couple of changes to that. We sent that back to T-Base for re-signature. That was signed today,
Perfect.
and we're moving forward with that.
Thank you, John. Also, rules, well, I'm on it here. Our meeting last month was canceled due to nothing new for our agenda. We have a tentative date currently of April 29th. I'm not sure if John has any updates on that for us.
Our rules that we came up with were sent to legal and came back from legal successfully.
Perfect.
We will be able to put those on the May agenda, and we can hold that meeting and discuss those if we like, or we can move that forward if you'd prefer.
Okay, thanks, John.
Road Commission.
Road Commission. Well, I already talked about the roundabout there on Beitner
Yep.
and what that's going to look like. One of the other things that I think this group would be interested in is, I think it's on the 21st, all the interested parties, now that we're small metropolitan area, we all have to do our water runoff plans or permits. I think we're going to do it as a joint thing with the county and the road commission and Leelanau County. I mean, we're all going to work together to get this done. So that'll be interesting. And then, got to do it. It's been around forever. I mean, we've got some people that are kicking up heels, but the water runoff's been around forever. The other big thing that we've been working on, working with Lansing on funding. The House passed the plan, which is a significant increase for everybody. We'll have to see what the Senate does and what the governor wants, but we do expect an increase in funding. How does that affect us? That'll help us with the roadways going through the parks, getting to the parks. I mean, when I say significant increase, the House plan is like 107% increase. So we doubled the amount of money, which would allow us to do things that we cannot do right now.
Great. Green Commissioner is not here. County Board Representative Brian McAllister is not here, so I think we've got everything. Any open other questions while we're here? Old business, we don't have any. Move on down to new business.
Item on our new business tonight is a reappointment to the Natural Education Reserve Advisory Committee, and our appointee is Judy Reich. Judy is here with us today, and so Judy's been a member for 8 years now of
Wow.
the committee, and is petitioning for reappointment. So any words of wisdom to provide to introduce yourself to the group? If you do, feel free to come on up to the mic. It's for the people on TV.
It's, the-
This is
oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is recorded.
I'm sorry, I stood up.
That's all right.
Well, I just have to say that the NER is just one of my most favorite things. Before I retired, I was not even aware of the job that I had took me out of town from Monday through Thursday night, and so I didn't have a lot of time here in Traverse City. And so one of my first things to do when I retired was I took the Master Gardener course. And because that's something I really, it was number one on my bucket list to do. And that, of course, involves some volunteering, and I got involved with the Nature Center, and then they asked me if somebody thought it'd be nice to have a Master Gardener representative with the NER committee, and they asked me if I would do that, and I said sure. And here I am, and I am just so thrilled with the things that have been happening. I mean, I just, I'm a relative newbie to the whole park plan, the whole area, and so many things have gone on since in those 8 years. The things we've improved and made it such a wonderful place for people to take their kids and just anybody to go for a stroll, So I'm just thrilled with the whole workings, and the investment that the community puts into our parks and the NER especially.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Judy at all? I'll entertain a motion.
I would just like to say, Judy, thank you very much for your volunteering and your passion for this. And Mr. Chair, I'd love to make the motion to reappoint her.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, motion by Charlie, second by Joe down there. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
And welcome to another 3, is it 3 years?
3 years, yes, 3-year term.
On the natural education, so.
It has been a pleasure getting to know Judy and to working with her on the committee. So I thank you as well, Judy, for your service. She had mentioned that someone had asked her to be on the committee, and our best committee members are coming from word of mouth, and Judy is one of the best. So if you are also, if you know of anybody, and if anybody who's listening knows of anybody who may be interested in applying for a seat on the NER Advisory Committee, we have 1 seat open, and we'd love to be able to fill that. Application is available on our website.
Very nice. Thank you, Judy. And anytime you want to come over and work in any of the other parks, we're always open. We're actually starting a volunteer. So, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All good. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I think we're down to second public comment. Again, nobody wants to talk to us.
Our public has left.
Our public has left. Notices and commissioner comments. John?
Don't we have a sponsor for the doggy waste bags in the parks? Maybe
Yes.
that might be a good resource for leashes.
Yep, Pet Supplies Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been a great partner, helping put up the dispensers, as well as all the dog bags we have in all of our park properties.
Sounds like it makes sense.
Yep. Kudos. So we will definitely reach out to them.
All right. Any other comments, suggestions next month? It's coming fast, so.
May 8.
May. All right. With that, we are adjourned.
6:13.
Thank you, everybody. 6:13.
That's our shortest in a long
I know, but it's great.
I tried.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Awesome.
I like to stay. I want to stay. Annexation.